All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Big weekend of fights this week on the same card. ESPN actually has a card where I am excited about two of the fights. One is Terence Bud Crawford fighting somebody named Green Machine, and Teofimo Lopez getting a shot at the IBF 135-pound championship against Richard Comey. It is either going to be the bust of Teofimo Lopez or the legitimization, whatever that word is, of Richard Comey as a legitimate, should be considered top fighter if he gets up out of this, and setting himself up for a unification fight with Vasily Lomachenko. Let's talk about these things in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, welcome to the channel, to my new channel members. We got the ability to do the channel memberships, and they should be right down here. I think I'm going to pick the right side where it is. If you look down there, there's a join button. I hope that you will do that. Also, shout out to everybody in the Patreon community and the live stream community. Make sure you come to OG Boxing Talk this Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, let's get into this. Terence Crawford is not fighting a fight that I actually want to see him fight. Like, I wasn't calling for Aegis Kalvanakis. I'm sure I'm not doing that guy's name right, but he goes by the Green Machine. He is the WBO mandatory for Terence Crawford. So I'm excited about the fight because I like mandatory fights. Mandatory fights tell me this, that he had to fight him, and at least he ain't just going out of his way to pick somebody as a voluntary that he ain't got any business fighting, right? So the fact that Terence Crawford is fighting Aegis Kalvanakis, I don't have any problem with, and you can check my record on that. I rarely, if ever, have any issue with a guy actually fighting their mandatory. We got Anthony Joshua, who more than likely is going to drop a belt not to fight his mandatory, in Alexander Usyk, because he has to choose between the IBF guy, Pulev, and Usyk. So one of the two he's going to drop, even though, truth be told, he doesn't have to, because he's faced that situation before and didn't drop the belt. But I'm not really going to trip on him fighting the mandatory. It is what it is. He ain't fighting Deontay Wilder anyway. It's when the voluntaries come up and you find some excuse not to fight somebody when you have a voluntary that there's the problem. So Terence Crawford is going to be fighting Aegis Kalvanakis. It's going to be another opportunity to see Terence Crawford fight the guy that I believe is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing. And I've say this every video that I talk about Terence Crawford, skill-wise, talent-wise, accomplishments as far as what he's done unifying the division, never testing positive for any type of performance enhancing drugs. You know, I think that he's the pound for pound guy. I don't believe he's the #1 welterweight. That, my friends, is Errol Spence Jr., the unified welterweight champion, and basically a wrecking machine as soon as he comes back. And I believe that he will come back in full strength. I'm praying that he will, for him and his family. Then we can get back on, you know, what's going to happen between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. This fight right here, though, I'm looking for Terence Crawford to dominate the Green Machine, get him up out of there. Now, I'm doing this off of pure faith, right? Because to tell you the truth, I ain't breaking down any film on Aegis Kalvanakis. I've seen him fight a couple times. He's a decent fighter, Eastern European fighter, nothing really, but not of the trick, not the tricky pivoting type of Ukrainian Antonelli Lomachenko protege style Eastern European like Usyk and Vasily Lomachenko, but pretty much just your straight out, just straight out the box type of Eastern European style from what I can see. And I think more than likely Terence Crawford is going to rip. Terence Crawford is going to get him out of there. I don't see it going the distance. And even if it did go the distance, Terence Crawford is going to win a unanimous decision over him. And I think that's good. The most important thing, though, for me, though, is after he gets done with that, what's he going to do after that? After he gets past Aegis Kalvanakis, I'm hoping that he steps into that ring and says, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, I'll take either one. I'll take Sean Porter. I'll take Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence is not on the table because he's injured. So, hey, man, just it is what it is. Okay, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, not this year anyway. So, the other champion is Manny Pacquiao, the other guy that has held both the IBF and the WBC belts at different points in time is Sean Porter. That is the fight that I'm pushing for, that I'm really hoping that he will be able to do. And if he was able to get through those two fights, then hey, man, maybe in the eyes of these people who just don't seem to give a lot of credit to American fighters for some reason, maybe they'll go, maybe they'll reconsider Terence Crawford and put him back over, back over top of Monster Inoue, the Japanese dude that just got beat up by Nonito Donaire, got his eye socket broken, got his nose broken, his eye broken and gashed open, eye gashed open. Maybe they'll start to give him credit of maybe being as good as Monster Inoue. I wouldn't expect him to put him over Canelo Alvarez, who dude is, man, God dog, man. This dude is ducking more smoke. This dude is ducking more smoke than anybody in boxing right about now. He's got 3 belts in 3 divisions and ain't fought the best in any of those divisions. I'll repeat that for you Canelo Alvarez fans. He's got belts in 3 different divisions and has not beaten the best. The other, if you consider him the best, fine, whatever. But the next guy, he's not beaten any of the other top guys in those 3 divisions. Possible exception being Gennady Golovkin. Right? But he ain't fought Charlo. He ain't fought Andrade. He hasn't beaten any of the 168 pounds champions. He ain't fought better Beterbiev. He ain't fought Bivol. And didn't nobody believe that Kovalev was the best in that division. He'd already been knocked out twice. Canelo seems to like to fight people when they look a little more suspect. Now he's talking about fighting Billy Joe Saunders, but only after Billy Joe Saunders looked like crap. So anyway, maybe Terence Crawford, if he gets through these, can start getting, the respect that he deserves. Now, as far as the other fight, hey man, I'm looking forward. This for me is going to be the fight of the weekend. Teofimo Lopez versus, let me get it right. Richard Comey, the IBF champion, against Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, I think, is one of the best prospects in boxing. He didn't look the best in the last 2 fights because he just seemed like he was really headhunting. But before that, dramatic knockouts. Dude he's going out there trying to do big work, laying people out, dropping them flat on their faces. The people that I know that have seen him fight from, in sparring sessions, watched him closely in the amateur, speak very, very highly of Teofimo Lopez. It's just that his buzz has died off a little bit with the emergence of fighters like, in his same age range, like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Those type of guys have really, because they've had exciting fights their last several fights. Shakur Stevenson, they've not only won championships, right? They've looked good doing it, but this is an opportunity for Teofimo Lopez to get back up there with him. And I do believe, Teofimo Lopez is an exceptional talent, but it's not going to be an easy route. It's going to be the hardest route that of the 3 fighters that I'm talking about. It's going to be a tougher fight than Devin Haney had, obviously, to get the belt because Lomachenko vacated it, right? And then he fought a guy, I can't even remember the name of the guy that he fought, but clearly he's not a Teofimo, he's not a Richard Comey level fighter. Same thing goes for Shakur Stevenson, who I believe also fought for a vacant belt and beat Joet Gonzalez. I think he beat Joet Gonzalez. That's just a lower level of competition. Both of those guys fought lower level competition to get their belts than Teofimo Lopez is going to be facing. And honestly, man, this is tough enough a fight where I'm like, hold on, man, this doesn't even make sense. Truthfully, this fight being made by Top Rank doesn't even make sense to me. This seems like out of the mode for Top Rank to make this fight, because usually when one of their young stars they're trying to get up, right? They're trying to build. Usually when they go for their championship fight, it's against somebody they just we know that he's going to win this fight. and 90% chance he's going to win this fight. And when he's ready, that's when we put him in there. That's what, for example, Bob Arum said when he compared Shakur Stevenson getting his title shot earlier than Mick Conlan I think Mick Conlan's out of Ireland, but definitely over from, Europe. When they said that Shakur Stevenson was going to get a shot before Mick Conlan because he doesn't really want these guys to fight until they're pretty confident that they can win the championship match. And they believe that's just smart matchmaking. And Bob Arum and his organization is the best matchmakers in boxing, no doubt about it, from my perspective. And so that just the whole Teofimo Lopez, either they got a lot of confidence in Teofimo Lopez or they're trying to get rid of him, one or the other. But anyway, great weekend of fights. Really looking forward to it. Hopefully, that this stuff can wind up to having some type of unification at 135 pounds, but it is what it is. And the fact that it's so difficult to unify the division is another reason why I truly believe that Terence Crawford needs to get the credit he deserves as being the pound for pound number one guy in boxing. But again, not the best welterweight in my opinion. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.